How much money do you need to have inside your bank account before you can actually apply for a visa, a UK visa, a Schengen visa, or any visa at all? That's a question I'm going to be answering in today's video. So before we jump right in, I want to say a very big thank you to all of you guys who are subscribed to this channel, who are watching my videos, engaging. I'm actually amazed at how interesting this community is actually becoming, and I am grateful to all of you. The truth of the matter is that when I started this channel, it was as an example to teach my students, who wants to learn how to build YouTube channels, how to actually do it, right? So in the training, I actually made the first video, planned it, and actually showed them how to do it. Now that video went ahead and got about 20,000 views, right? Of course, I wasn't surprised because I actually did the right thing. I understand how to actually make videos on YouTube, actually build YouTube channels. I've been doing that for years because I've been helping my friends actually do these things. So I decided to actually share my experience on this channel so that a lot of persons would actually benefit. But I never envisaged that to actually get to this point. This is fast becoming one of the biggest YouTube channels when it comes to travel tips in Nigeria and of course around the world. And you guys are making it happen, and I want to appreciate you. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, I want to encourage you right now to smash the like button, subscribe to my channel, and most importantly turn on the notification button so that when I drop more amazing videos just like what you are watching right now, YouTube is going to send you a notification instantly. So let's go back to the topic of today. How much money do you need to have inside your bank account before you can actually apply for a visa? Now I mentioned the fact that in one of my UK visa applications I had just 50,000 naira inside my bank account, right? And I applied for a visa, and of course it got approved. But one of the things that I actually also did was I actually attached my dollar account, where I actually had a little more money than 50,000 naira, for that particular application. So you don't have to have 20 million or 10 million or 500 million inside your account before you can actually get a visa. As a matter of fact, when you have a lot more money, most times it is actually counterproductive, like I've always said in this particular channel. So I'm going to be telling you guys exactly how much you need to have inside your bank account before you can actually apply for a visa successfully. So let me show you guys a refusal letter that I actually saw recently. You stated that you are his job and you receive 1.7 million naira, which is about 790 pounds per annum. That's a year. This person earns 1.7 million naira a year, and you receive no additional income from other sources. You have monthly living costs of 100,000 naira, and you will spend 500 pounds, which equates to 26 times of your disposable income. Now what this means is that this guy actually earns about 140,000 naira every month, which translates to 1.7 million in a year, right? And he spends about 100,000 naira every month. Now he wants to go to the UK and spend 500 pounds. Where is the money going to come from, right? Where is the money going to come from? And which equates to 26 times your disposable income. However, from the information provided above regarding your income and outgoings in your application, I am not satisfied that the proposed trip is proportionate to your income and finances. What I'm trying to say is that the money available to this particular individual is not enough to fund his trip. So the money that you need in your bank account is basically enough money to fund your trip, but that's not all. There's something else, right? So but let me explain this in greater details. So let's say you are planning to go to France, right? It's Schengen, and the average cost of living, which I would advise you, any country you want to apply for a visa, go on the internet and search for average costs of living in so and so country, right? You're going to be seeing all of that on the internet. So let's say, for instance, to live in France, every day you spend about 60 euros, right? So 60 euros, and you're planning to stay for 13 days or 14 days, right? Which will equate to about 840 euros. Now 840 euros in naira should be around 1.5 million or so, right? 1.5 million. So that means that you have to show 1.5 million naira in your bank balance, but that's not all. Now you also need to buy a flight ticket. A flight ticket to France from Nigeria to and fro should cost you about another 1.5 million, right? So that means you have to show 3 million naira in your bank account, but that's not all again. You also need accommodation, unless somebody is taking care of accommodation. Somebody who is going to take care of it. But if you're actually paying for your accommodation, you also need to put that into consideration. So let's say your accommodation is about 500-600 euros. That will cost you about 1 million naira, right? So 1 million. This means that you need about 4.5 million for this particular trip right now. But that's not all. Now there is something called miscellaneous, right? You also need to put that into consideration again. So let's say we have a miscellaneous of about 500,000 naira. So that will give us 5 million. Now you need to prove that you have 5 million naira. You have actually 5 million naira inside into your account. But that's not all. There is a refusal letter I saw recently. And what they said in that refusal letter, the argument they made is that this guy works in Nigeria. He said he was planning to spend about 5,000 pounds in his trip to the UK. right? Now, £5,000 equates to 11 months' salary from his job, and he doesn't have any other income. So the argument they made is that he plans to come to the UK, spend £5,000, right? Which is like 11 months on salary, and now come back to Nigeria. How would you take care of yourself, for the next few months that you are in Nigeria until your next salary comes and the next one comes? It didn't make sense for you to take your 11 month salary and go and spend it in the UK in a month, in just 30 days. It didn't make sense, right? So that brings us to something called buffer. When you return to Nigeria, money that you use to take care of yourself as well should be inside your bank account, right? So we have your living expenses, at 1.5 million for 14 days. That's on top of my head. You have 1.5 million for your flight. You have about 1 million for accommodation, and you have another 500k for miscellaneous expenses, and of course your buffer, the money you use to take care of yourself, maybe money that can last you for like the next 1 month or next 2 months when you come back to Nigeria to take care of yourself, so that you don't go ahead and start begging people for money, right? This money should be inside your bank account. So it depends on the country that you are going to. You can basically go online and search for average cost of living in so and so country. You can basically go to an airline website and try to book a flight. You see exactly how much flight ticket costs, to and fro. Then you pay attention to that as well. Accommodation also, you are going to be booking an accommodation. So that is why I advise people that when you are booking an accommodation, even though you don't intend to use that accommodation, make sure that the money to pay to take care of that accommodation is inside your bank account. So do not go and book Radisson Blu or one 7-star hotel that that in your life you will never be able to pay for that particular hotel, and the money to pay for that hotel is not even in your bank account. It will affect you adversely. And this is the reason why when you are filling your visa application form, you see questions like how much do you earn in a year, right? Then how much do you spend every month? You want to do the plus and minus to see that this guy actually earns 2 million income, 2 million. He spends about 1 million naira every month, so he has a savings of 1 million, right? And he has saved that money for the past 6 months, so he has 6 million now. So he can actually come to the UK, spend 3 million, and he also has 3 million from his savings to take care of himself when he returns back to Nigeria, right? That makes sense. So there is no particular amount of money that you need to have inside your bank account. You just need to make sure that you have enough money to take care of your trip, and of course take care of yourself for some time when you have returned to your country of residence. Because you see, people don't understand this thing, but refusal, it's about the visa officer not convinced that you are going to return to your country of residence. It's about your intention. That is why most times when you see refusal letter, they will say that I'm not sure about your intention. I doubt your intention, that you intend to return. That, right? The whole intention about tourist visa is that they don't trust the fact that you are going to come back. So somebody that is going to the UK to spend the whole £5,000 that he has access to, right? How are you sure that he's going to come back? He doesn't have plans of coming back. If he had plans of coming back, he would have money to take care of himself when he actually returns back to his home country. So that's the logic. So recently there was this lady that reached out to me, right, from this YouTube channel, and of course we had a conversation, right? She was refused for a visa before, but her circumstances has changed completely. From the time that she applied for that visa, which is like 2023 or 2024, and now her circumstances have actually improved greatly, right? She opted for us to write the cover letter and do the whole application for her. So let me read part of the cover letter that I actually wrote for her right now. So the first thing I did was to tell her the documents to provide, right? She provided them for me, and I went to her document and I actually wrote this cover letter. So let me read part of it to you. It said, I plan to make a 10-day vacation. I plan to take a 10-day vacation to the United Kingdom of Great Britain, which is why I'm making this application. Then we talked about that my plan is to leave for the UK on so and so date and come back on so and so date. I'm the business owner of this particular business and all of those things. So I want to show you guys the money part. I have included our bank account statement to this application, which is domiciled with so and so bank, and we do a yearly turnover of over 180 million naira. Right? So that's a lot of money. So we need to prove where this money actually came from, right? Because most people would actually mention this money, show this money in the account, and they think that because you have 180 million, inside your account, that your visa is approved before you even applied. Nope. It might affect you adversely. Most cases actually affect you negatively, right? So we went ahead to talk about how this money came to be. So we had to attach her rate card. So I just said that we provide the services we provide in our business include this, and even consultation. To provide an insight into the cost of our services, I have attached our rate card to this application, and this rate card can also be found on our website. Then I attach the website address, right? So the visa officer can go to their website and actually see that people actually pay this amount of money to be provided these services that this company actually do offer, So while all treatments are limited to 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and 45 minutes, we also have customers that pay for multiple sessions for best results. Now, I now refer to an inflow, right, that came into her account, mention the date, the time, and the remark of that inflow on her bank statement, and explained what that money is for. Because the money is like 5 times one session. So we need to explain the fact that a customer paid for 5 sessions at once, which is why this money came into this account like this, right? So we also mentioned the fact that there's a lot of payment for salaries every single month and all of that, and of course how much she pays herself, and basically any money in her bank account. We had to explain it step by step with great details in a way that the visa officer it will be easy for her to actually find the entry that we're actually referring to, and it makes sense to them. So why am I bringing this to your attention? Too much money might actually hurt you. So the most important part of it is how you actually arrange your bank statement and how you present it to the visa officer so that it's easy for them to understand. And this is service that I actually offer to my clients. But first, I need to understand your personal and economic circumstances. And if you want to get in touch with me, all you need to do is to click on the first link in my video description. Once you click on it, of course, you're going to get in touch with me and we can actually have that conversation. Another mistake that people actually make with bank statements is to present a bank account. Let's say you present your 6 months bank statement for a UK visa and there is no inflow and outflow on that account. Maybe the money that came into the account was like 1 year ago, right? There's a balance there. Why? You are a human being. You actually live. You spend money every single day. How do you do that? Right? So there has to be inflow and outflow on your bank statement. You are living. You buy groceries, you buy food, you buy water, you pay for transport, you pay for bills and all of those things, right? They should be inside your bank account. For instance, now if you look at my bank account right now, you will see you see where I bought fuel, you will see where I paid for Netflix, you see where I paid for internet service, you see all of those things. So the visa officers actually do prefer active bank accounts, right? So if you present a bank account that is inactive, there is also an active bank account that you actually use to make payment. They want to see that bank account. It's very important. So don't bring a bank account that has 10 million. That 10 million has been there for like the past 1 year, and you bring it. You are a living person. You have a bank account that is actually active. That bank account is actually more important because there is inflow and outflow. There's your salary coming in. There is this, there is that in that bank account. So that bank account is actually more viable than the one that is just static. As a matter of fact, the activities on your bank account is actually sometimes more important than the balance on that particular bank account. So let me explain what this means real quick. So let's say you have a big supermarket, right? And people actually come there. You make sales of like 300k, 400k every single day, 500k, sometimes 1 million every single day. Those monies actually come into your bank account every single day. If that bank account happens to have like 3 million naira balance when you are applying for a visa, that bank statement will have more respect than the bank statement where you have 5 million coming and go. And no money comes in again in like 2 months. Another 10 million comes in and disappears, and no money comes in again for like the next 1 month, and another 10 million comes in again, right? The guy with that active bank account is more likely going to get his visa approved than you that sees money once in a while. Active bank accounts have more respect than bank accounts that are, should I say, passive, that are almost inactive. So before you present any bank statement, there are a couple of things you need to pay attention to. Number one, your bank account needs to be active. That's one, right? Number two, the balance on your bank account should be able to fund your trip and also have like a buffer to take care of you when you return to your home country. Number three, do not borrow funds last minute and they put inside your bank account, because those visa officers most likely check your average income every single month. If the month you're applying for a visa there's an unusual large deposit inside your account, it is most likely going to affect you negatively. Now, most people submit 1 month bank statement. I've not seen an embassy that requires 1 month bank statement because it doesn't tell the whole story, right? Schengen would actually prefer 3 months bank statement. The UK would ask you for 6 months bank statement, but I've seen people submit 4 months, 5 months for UK, even 3 months for UK, and they still get their visas approved. But if you go to the UK's website right now, they would ask you for 6 months bank statement. Personally, I always present 6 months bank statement. Now, having money inside your bank account is not enough. You also need to provide proof of where that money is coming from. Is it your employment? You need to provide proof that you're actually employed, your employment letter, all of those things. You did business with somebody, the person paid you, the invoice, the contract, you sold a car or you sold a house, deed of sale, contract of sale, whatever it is, to actually prove the source of that fund. Where is that fund? Where did they come from? Especially when it's a large deposit. So next time when you're applying for a visa, make sure that your bank account is active, and also make sure you have enough money to fund your trip in your bank account. Another challenge that I see a lot of persons have is how to actually explain the funds in their bank account, and that's something that you can actually do effectively with a cover letter, and I explained that in great detail in this particular video. But if you actually want us to do it for you, all you need to do is to click on the first link in my video description, and you can have a conversation where I actually get to understand your personal and economic circumstances, and of course I can advise you on what to do, or maybe help you actually do it if you want us to.